I think it can be absolutely wonderful to share all of the lovely homeschool things, the way that we are rocking it and things are going great and everything is sunshine and rainbows. I love that. I love sharing about homeschool. I put lots of videos out about that. But what about the ways that I almost ruined it? That I almost single-handedly destroyed our family when it comes to homeschool? Because guys, I'll be honest with you, I have nearly completely goofed it up multiple times. So let me share with you the ways that I've nearly ruined it, and maybe that can be a help and a blessing for you with your kiddos. Hey friends, I'm Heidi with Heavenly Minded Home and welcome to our channel. Now I love talking about all the homey things. So homemaking, homeschooling, homesteading, home discipleship. We love talking about all of that right here as Christians with an eternal perspective. And so super excited to share about this today because while I love sharing about all the wonderful things of homeschool, I believe in homeschool 100 billion%. We just graduated our firstborn. Our youngest is 5.5 and getting ready to kind of start her educational journey. And all of this is just super exciting. I love it so much. If you guys want to see more of kind of our take on homeschool, we're going to be talking about it all week long. So be sure to subscribe and turn on your little bell notifications so that way you get these as they come out this week. We've got really exciting things coming out. I'm so excited to share them with you guys. It's just hit like every time I say the word excited. You're going to be clicking it a lot. Anyways, it's great to talk about the fun stuff. I love it. It's fantastic. What about all the times that it's not so great? What about all of the ways that I will take full blame here and say I nearly ruined my kids and our homeschool experience? Because I have multiple times. And not intentionally, of course, but being as we've been in this game for the past dozen years and kind of looking back at mistakes that we've made and things that we've gotten not so right, why not just hang out with my friends here and share the things that I wish I would have realized what I was doing. I wish I would have realized the impact that it was having on my kids. And now with the 3 girls that I'm still educating, these are things that I focus on not repeating for their adventure of education ahead. So, top 5 things that I personally single-handedly did that absolutely was causing problem and really ruining the homeschool for my kids. Let me share that with you. The first thing I did that absolutely was ruining my kids and their homeschool experience, their educational journey, was forcing my view of how it all should go versus taking them into account. Now, I think I did this with the greatest of intentions at hand, but I had this image in my head of how education should look like and what our homeschool would be like and what philosophy fit me the best. I would take all the quizzes and do all of the things. But the problem was, it was my children that were on the receiving end. So I could have all of these grand ideas in my head of how it should go or what it should look like or what we should use. But if I wasn't taking them into account of how best they learn, what season of life they're in, what they enjoy doing, what they're focused on. When I didn't take that into account, it really goofs up the whole balance. And the next thing you know, you just have these issues and things aren't going right. And it just causes this like discontent in our homeschool. And that's not at all what I was striving for. So my first little thing here that I totally got wrong and I definitely don't want to repeat again is just having it be my view, how I think it should go, without taking into account each child in this season of life and what really works best for them. The second one is a big one, and I won't lie to you guys and say that this isn't one that I really struggle with, but one of the ways that I nearly ruined homeschool for my kids was forcing my expectations for our daily rhythms. And if you're noticing a theme already, a lot of this, again, I'm talking about how I really goofed up my child's educational experience with homeschooling. I'm holding that mirror up and looking at myself first and foremost before we dig into anything else, and having this view of how I expected our days to go. I want our daily rhythms to look like this. I want to be up at this time. Everybody's going to be happy and chipper. We're going to do all of our stuff right here, and then we're going to do this and then that. Again, when it was me taking how I wanted it to be without taking into account anyone else, or when best they were thriving, or when they really feel like that's their sweet spot to get in and dig into topics. And I just expected everyone to just hop on my train. I struggle with that because I put together what I think is the best, laid out plan, and I want everybody to jump on board. But that doesn't realistically necessarily work all of the time. And we'll talk about balance in all of this, but not taking that into account and just expecting everyone to be perfectly on board with how I think our rhythm should go, how I think our scheduling should go, was definitely a difficult lesson to learn. I think a lot of it was a heart lesson. The Lord did a lot of refining work in me over the past 12 years or so, just how best to actually serve and how best to structure and do things without just being overbearing, that it has to look like this, it has to work in this order, everything has to fit into my ideals and my box in order for our homeschool to work, when if that's not what's working for my children, if that's not what's truly serving our family as a whole, then I'm the one who needs to realign, not everybody else, to my expectations. So I think being realistic with yourself, if it's one thing to have ideas for a daily rhythm and to add some structure and to do some things, but expecting everyone to just fit perfectly into your plan isn't reality. And if we're being honest with ourselves, that's not the best way to go about serving others. And we want to have a servant's heart above all. So second way I nearly ruined our homeschool journey would be definitely expecting everyone to hop on my train of this is our daily rhythm and this is how it's going to go.
Hey, sweet friend, I just wanted to share really quickly about a special freebie I've put together for you. Now, we are currently in our 15th year of back to homeschool. I cannot believe it. And I have put together a special resource that I'm calling my Back to Homeschool Basics. It's really just the tips and tricks, the guides, the little things I've learned over the years that really does help set our family up for success so that we can have a great and God-honoring homeschool year. And if you would like the resource, you can get that right here and now. There's a video, there's a booklet, there's all kinds of things that are going to be packed in there. Put your email down in the form below and I will get that sent over to you right away. So let's get back to the video, but I wanted to make sure you had that.
The third way I nearly ruined our children's homeschool journey would be trying to fill all of their time. Balance is a big key of this. We're going to get to it. Keep listening. But there's a big difference between having things for my kids to do, be it, educational activities, be it book learning, be it curriculum, be it things they're involved in, whatever it may be. And then, of course, the opposite of that is not having any structure, anything to do, and they're just literally bored out of their minds and getting themselves into trouble. There's a balance to that. But I think oftentimes, especially with all of the wonderful resources that are out there, because there are great resources, we offer resources like you guys just heard me talk about. So we have them. There are many wonderful things, but we don't want to just jam-pack our kids' schedules. And I think sometimes we can kind of lean that way. I think it comes from a good place of good intention where we find things and we get excited and we go, oh, that's so great, that's so wonderful, we'll do this and we'll do that and we'll sign up for this and then we'll get some of this. But then before you know it, their days are jam-packed and there's so much to do. And then there's no time for anything else. And everybody starts to feel stretched thin and you can't keep up with the stuff because you're running around to all the different things and the kids are in a million classes, and we don't want to do that. Boredom breeds creativity. I want my kids to have open time. I see some of the just greatest growth in all 4 of my children when they have open, unstructured time. Now, I see attitudes and issues that come when we have only that, right? We want there to be a balance, but trying to fill all of their time every day, all day long, you're just go, 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 you have this. I nearly ruined our homeschool experience when I felt the pressure, self-imposed pressure, to fill all the void, to do all the things, go to all the places, have all the curriculums, do all the books, right? Whatever it may be. That was a huge learning experience for me, a huge refining process when I started to realize, what am I doing? Embrace childhood. Let them explore. Let boredom breed creativity. I don't need to fill every waking moment. And that's a good thing. The 4th way I nearly ruined my kids in their homeschool experience was my imbalance of structure versus adventure. It's a balance, you guys. Everything in life is a balance, and it's difficult. And balancing the things, I think, is so elusive because it's not something you do once and then you're done with it, right? If I want my kitchen cabinets painted, I paint them and then they're done. They're painted, right? They're done. Balance isn't that way. Balance is something that every day you're working on, you're being aware of, you're putting thought to, and that is really, really important to make that a prioritized thing in our lives. And so there is this line between having structure and having adventure. And finding a balance in that has just been so huge and impactful for our family and for our homeschool. Because I went through a period where everything was really structured and it's going to look like this and we're going to do all of this and all of the different things. And then every time life happened, it would throw us all off. I would get so stressed out and so concerned that my perfect plan wasn't being so perfect because everything was thrown off. But then sometimes we kind of go to the other side where we are full throttle when it comes to adventure. We want to do all the fun things. And that kind of throws us off as well, because then, especially for the younger ones, they don't really have any clear parameters. And it's just kind of like, I think of that Little Caesars commercial where the guy comes in, I don't even know how many years ago, we haven't had TV in so long, I forget, but it was a few years. He comes in and there was some new special about there was like no rules and you could add whatever toppings or something like that. And the guy goes, oh, no rules. And he takes off his shirt and the guy at Little Caesars go, there's one rule. You have to keep your clothes on, right? Put your shirt back on. But I think of that sometimes with life where sometimes it sounds so great. No rules, no structure. We're just all gonna just la 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 through the fields and it's gonna be beautiful. But as humans, we really do crave structure, and that's such an important thing in our lives as well. So it's finding that balance of like, no rules, but there's one rule, right? You got to wear a shirt. So it's finding that balance there of structure and adventure and having both in our homeschool for our children as we train them up is so incredibly important. So that was definitely a way I really was doing some damage to our homeschool, not being able and not prioritizing, working to find balance between that structure and our adventure. And the 5th and most final way, the most like the heart of this whole video here, is as a professing Christian, as a believer, a follower of Jesus, not understanding that my number one priority with my children, as a parent, as a homeschool educator, as whatever you want to title it, not prioritizing their discipleship was definitely the greatest way that I was ruining my whole job here. And I'm thankful to the Lord that He really convicted me in that and caused me to think about that and go, wow, it doesn't matter what grades they get. It doesn't matter what curriculum they finish. It doesn't matter what job they go on to get, if they go to college or don't go to college, whatever it may be. None of that matters. As if at the end of it, when they stand before the Lord, as every single human being will do, regardless of what you believe, they do not hear the words, well done, good and faithful servant. Now, that's between them and the Lord. I don't control that, okay? That's their department with him. But I am entrusted to teach these things to them. God gave these children to me, and it's my job to train them up in truth. And so by not making that a priority to disciple these blessings he's given me, not only was it ruining our homeschool experience, our family, just home life in general was off kilter, but that would have eternal consequence. And so it is so important that with our time with our children, none of us are getting it perfect, and I promise you, I do not claim that I am. But with our time that we have our children here with us, it is our job to train them up. Like Deuteronomy tells us, from the time they wake up till the time they go to bed, when we're at home, when we're out and about. And so making this a priority is the most important thing that I can do. And all of these other things I've talked about will fall into place. But this is the root. This is the core. And by not understanding that for many years of being a parent, I definitely was doing damage. Not intentionally, but it still was happening. And so I'm thankful to the Lord that he did get my attention. He did convict me, and I started to implement change. To say, whoa, 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 I need to align myself with God's word, and we need to get on track here, guys. Because we're on this big, broad highway, and that's not where we want to be. And so no day is ever too late, because every day that we have breath is an opportunity. But to realize that and say, I'm getting this on track. And discipleship is number one. That's important. And if you hear anything in this whole video, hear that. And don't go another day overlooking that. I know I've asked the Lord for forgiveness for all the days that I overlooked it. I'm thankful for his grace and forgiveness in that. And I just praise him for the opportunity now to move forward. Between doing biblical womanhood with my girls, our Heavenly Minded Homeschool family Bible curriculum we put out, the Bible classes we offer, I mean, all of that is meant to be a resource, something that can bless another family and say, I know this is really important. And it can be kind of intimidating and a little difficult when you're trying to do all the stuff and you're trying to make sure that they have what they need and that is the most important key for your life. And so that's why we put out these resources, because we want it to be a blessing to others, because it's been a really big blessing to our family. And so the biggest way out of all of this that I nearly ruined my children's homeschool journey and just our family value and morals and purpose as a whole would be for all the time that I did not prioritize their discipleship. So friends, I pray that all of these things here, the things that I absolutely got wrong, even though I wasn't intentionally trying to ruin everything, I most definitely was causing that result. But it's okay, because as the Lord has given me grace, I will give myself grace. And every day is an opportunity to learn, to be refined, and to do better. Hopefully that can be an encouragement to you all. You guys, I love sharing about this stuff. And again, all week long, we've got lots of homeschool stuff coming out as we talk about all the homey things with an eternal perspective. Thank you guys so much for being here. If you want a little something else to watch kind of along these lines, I think you're going to enjoy this video right up here. Otherwise, be sure to come back and join me here tomorrow. I'll see y'all then. Bye, friends.